Hi, it's Cheryl. We're back for part 6 of the Dare2bArtzy Mini backpack video class. We're rounding home base here. We're just about ready to finish it off. So you should have a very box-like structure. Now, if you wanted to just make the box and not the backpack, you'd be pretty much finished at this point. The only thing you would have done differently is you would have tucked these little tabs inside and sort of tape them in place, and you'd be done. We're gonna do a little bit of decorative work here on the front. I'm gonna add my little bee. This circle die was not a part of the Dare2bArtzy set. This is actually from a Lawn Fawn set that I had, but I felt like this was a little too plain and a little too stark, so I thought we'll add a bee. There's bees left over here. So I just isolated a bee, cut it with a die that I had. Now I'm going to just kind of center it. He can fly straight down like he did on this backpack. He can fly off to the side. He can fly straight up. He can, however you want to place him, there's no wrong answer. You just want to kind of center him in this circular area up top. And he's all set. Now, at this point, you want to bring down your lid to match the size. You should be right about here. You should have about a 1/4 inch hanging out at bottom. We're gonna go ahead and put the second magnet on. This magnet is gonna keep it in place. So go ahead and lift that tab back out, flip it over. You'll see there's a little notch cut in. The way that this is intended to work is the little notch catches on this bar. A little bit hard to do. That's why we went with the magnets. You could also choose Velcro. I'm going to go ahead and remove this liner and expose the adhesive on the magnet. It is pretty strong, but I can tell you honestly, if you don't get this placed exactly right, you can actually pull it back up pretty easily, replace it, and it's going to stay where it needs to go. When you put it on the underside, it's going to have to go up higher than what you think it should. So you're a good 1/4 inch or higher from the bottom. You're going to lay that magnet in place, but I'm not going to push on it too much because I want to test it out and see if it works. So slide it under, see where it grabs. That actually looks pretty good to me, except you can see that I'm a little bit off to this side. It doesn't quite match over there. So I am going to take the magnet, pull it up, and just move it over toward the side that was gapping a little bit. Put it back in place and put it down. You can see I'm close, I'm not quite fixed. So I might have to do that 1 or 2 more times just to get it straight. But I can straighten this out. Again, if I haven't pressed too hard, these are pretty easy to pull up and fix the magnet. Again, remember to keep it back a little ways so you get the little tab hanging out at the bottom. Otherwise, you won't have that. I think I'm going the wrong way. Let's go toward the other side and see if this works better. Yep, we're getting there. So this part is done. At this point, we want to go ahead and attach our straps. So you've got, at this point, 2 long straps left, and you've got the short one. With all of them, you're going to take a second and just sort of curl it around with your fingers. Paper doesn't naturally do these things, so we want to help it along. So that one looks pretty good. It's just got a little arc to it. These straps have a score line on one end only. You're going to go ahead and fold it up at the score line. And then from there to the other end, you're going to just kind of curl it up a little bit so that it does its curly thing again. So find your score line, Must be down here. Sometimes if it falls in the body of a bee, it's a little bit harder to see, but you know it's one end or the other. It's not going to be missing. And then just curl it around your finger. And that should take care of it. We need a couple of pieces of score tape, just a little over 1 inch. We're going to use that to hold the straps in place. You could use glue or something else. I just find score tape easy and quick and not a problem. I'm going to unfold it. I'm going to stick that in, fold it back up. I don't want the score tape extending above where this folds. So if you need to trim off a little, trim off a little. Or just push it down, as is going to be the case here. I'm going to put my piece on the other one. Fold it up. It's just so close. It's maybe about 1/8 of an inch. It's just easier to push it back a little. And you're all set. Now we're going to put these on the backpack. They've got to come from the outside in. So through that notch, I'm going to insert the tab, and remember it's got live score tape on it. So we're going to be careful about how we do it. And then we're going to fold it up, and that's what it should look like. A little curly and silly, but it'll be fine. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Avoid the temptation to do this, because you're going to end up with a backward strap. Come from the outside in. Make sure your fold is resting. Okay, that one didn't quite go right, because I know I should have more of a tab left, so I don't think I have it in position. What you doing to me here? There we go. Go ahead and pull it up. And so your backpack strap should look like this at this point. I'm going to take them at this point, and right about there, I'm going to crisscross them. I'm going to take a little piece of score tape to have so that I can hold those into place. Again, you want to make sure they're not twisted in any way, shape, or form, because this is going to be the final how they go. So I've got them crisscrossed like this, and when I put them down, I'm going to put them down like this on the back, okay? But I need to do this guy first. I found she does it the opposite, where she does these straps first and then adds this over the top. It actually lays better to me the other way, so that's how we're going to do it. These I don't really want to overlap too much, but I'm just going to lay them together like that. They're overlapped a little, but not fully overlapped. And I'm going to put a piece of score tape over the top of that will hold it in place. And then I'm going to place that score tape. And at this point, it's easier to undo your flap so you can push this into place. We probably should have marked a center. So let me just grab my centering ruler and go ahead and mark that center too, because I always have disaster when I don't mark. You can mark in inches or metrics, whatever you're most comfortable with. Just mark it so you get the center and not something different. And so this is going to go down. I know that it's right because when I look at it from this side, that's how I want that to appear. I don't want to see this back side with the green. And now I need another piece of score tape for my handles, or my backpack straps here. I'm just going to lay it across anywhere. It doesn't matter because I'm trying to tack this into place so I can come over with another piece of cardstock that will hold it where it needs to be. Again, it's easier if I have my flap open. I'm in center position again. And my straps are pretty much in place there. Now our only piece left is this piece. You need to find right side versus wrong side. We're going to put a whole bunch of score tape on the wrong side. This piece is going to go over those straps and it's going to hold them into place. You may find that it makes more sense to add some glue. I start out with score tape because glue isn't going to dry fast enough for you. So start out with your score tape, put it down, and if you find it gapping at the top, go back and add some glue and really stick it down, because this is critical here. We want people to be able to lift it by the straps if they want to, or by this tab. I mean, that's what you lift a backpack by, right? So I'm taking my score tape off. As usual, it's sticking to me and everything else, but we'll get it here in just a second. Okay, once again, lift your flap so that you can put some pressure on here. You can see that already these things are trying to come up and come off. So we're going to take this piece, we're going to push it up as far as we can toward that back top. We're going to try and keep it centered. Doesn't want to cooperate in that way. There we go. Try and keep it straight, keep it centered, push it all the way down. Oops, that's not straight at all. Good golly. I don't know what I was thinking there. Looked good from this angle, but I have to be honest, this isn't the angle I normally craft at. Come on off. It's just really arguing with me here. Okay, one more time. So we've got the straps pushed into place. Again, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to flip it over. It doesn't really matter. But again, I want it as straight as possible, as centered as possible. Push it into place. Now, where might you need to reinforce it with glue? Up here, where these straps are. It just sometimes isn't enough to hold it with score tape. Do your best. If it doesn't hold, just stick a little glue in there, give it a minute to dry. I had to do that with this one, and you can see how flat it's laying at this point. So it's really not hard, especially if you have this wonderful Nuvo with the precision point. I'm actually going to go ahead and shoot some glue in and show you the points where it makes sense. Right here under the top, here in the center, here at the other side. Again, I'm going to go ahead, lift my flap. Got a little bit of extra glue there, which I'm going to try and get out of the way. And I'm just going to hold it into place until that glue takes hold. But at this point, your backpack is finished. Again, you can fill it with A2 cards. You can put quite a few in here. I would say at least 4 or 5, depending on how high your embellishments are and that sort of thing. You can fill it with treats. It's a great back to school thing. It's a great graduation gift. There are so many things that you can do. But again, anytime you want to give a gift of cards to someone, making the box only, so you're not putting the straps on that version, this would be a perfect way to give them. And again, you can hold a good number of cards for that. You can see now, although my glue isn't fully dry, I'm laying flatter there, and that's exactly what I want to keep those straps in place. I've covered the ends so that you don't have anything leaking out there. When that dries, I'll just take a little eraser to it, pull that glue off, and it will look good as new. So that is the Dare2bArtzy backpack. Lots and lots of fun. I hope you had a good time with it. Get in touch with us if you have any questions about this, if you had any problems going through, and we'll try and walk you through it. But it's a great, fun project. Thanks a lot. Bye.